One more morning. Hi. Truck stop was perfectly fine. As predicted, it was pretty noisy till late in the night, but around 1 a.m., 2 a.m, it started to get quiet enough to, settle down. But by, 4 a.m., 5 a.m, it started to get a little bit noisier again, but, I didn't sleep particularly deeply, but I at least did get some sleep. And, I curled up back there pretty early in the afternoon, really. So I got a lot of rest, at least, if not sleep. But it wasn't too cold. Nobody bothered the van. There was one point where I think some people were having a loud conversation not too far from the Shuttlepod, but it's a truck stop. You can't really complain too much about that. But yeah, I mean, not the worst night's sleep I've had in the Shuttlepod so far. Yeah, I think these big truck stops are not such a bad option for an overnight when you can't get to a proper campground. It's also nice having McDonald's just right there for breakfast, coffee. Relatively clean toilets, as clean as toilets as you could expect a truck stop toilet to be. Did come complete with all the cliches though, including a piece of graffiti on the back of one of the toilet stalls promising a complimentary beach. Possibly complimentary? I don't know how these things work. Maybe it's requesting one, I don't know. Not really my bag. Numbers on the back of toilet doors. I don't know how that works. Some of you are probably more versed in that than I. Feel free to explain it. But yeah, today, I don't know about today. There are some content ideas for like shorts / TikTok stuff that I have been meaning to sort of start making some notes on, but I've either been too exhausted, too tired, too burned out, too depressed, too anything. So maybe I find a campsite early today and just sort of settle down and work on that. The power station should be fully charged, so I should have plenty of power to get me through that. Food situation should be fine for a camp. Water. That feels at least half full. I really should check that properly. But yeah, mood has come up a little bit, so the little depressive episode I was in has started to lift. Thank goodness it was not going to be a long one, because they can last for literally weeks, sometimes even months. Most often 3 or 4 days, a week. Sometimes I get blessed with little short ones. This one was 3 or 4 days, I guess, coming from the down sweep into the back and the up. So not so bad in the grand scheme of things. At least I feel moderately functional today. Yeah, I'll find a campsite, settle in early, and see if I can get some creative work done. Because, outside of these vlogs, which are not especially creative, let's be honest, I have had a little bit of fun here and there with the editing. But, I haven't really stretched the creative muscle in, I guess it's been more than 2 weeks now since I became homeless van man, Shuttlepod adventurer, Captain Blunty of the Shuttlepod. I think I called it the Shuttlepod Blunty, didn't I? We really need a better name for it, I suppose. Can't call it after myself. Imagine Captain Picard, flying around in the captain's yacht. The yacht Picard. Still annoyed that we never got to see any captain's yachts come off the bottom of those ships. You can see them there. Even Voyager had one. I understand why Voyager didn't use theirs, though. I headcanon that the captain's yacht, underneath Voyager, was cannibalized for parts, because that was far more important to their situation than having the captain's own personal ship. So that's why I headcanon that they never used the captain's yacht on Voyager. But next gen, there were several occasions where Picard went off, on his own, on a holiday, or to get the checkup for his heart and stuff like that. He could have used the captain's yacht then instead of taking one of the shuttlepods. That would have been even more responsible, actually. What if the ship needed those shuttlepods? I might be drifting away from my topic a little bit. All right, let's fill up. Let's put the juice in the car. Get some antimatter in the deuterium tanks. No, wait, the other way around. Get some anti-deuterium in the antimatter tanks. It's too early. Coffee hasn't kicked in yet. Come on, caffeine. Do it. I dare you. All right, fuel, camp. See what I can do.
A very strong element.
Well, I found a campground. Slight problem. It is really pretty. It's just surrounded by ferns and forests, but problem is, it seems it's a little bit popular. There are no sites open right now. Everywhere that can accommodate the shuttlepod has been taken. I'm standing in the only vacant campsite at the moment. Unfortunately, this is intended for tents. There is no path or road or whatever to get the van in here. There is a small car park that can accommodate like 3 or 4 cars. I could just stay there for the night, but I think we'll just try somewhere else. Bit of a pity, because this place is really, really pretty. Quite chilly though. Not sure what our elevation is, but my ears popped a couple of times getting up here. I am enjoying the smell of campfires from the other campers all the way through there. Seems like a few of them have been here a while actually. They're sort of really grounded and set up and got everything sorted out around their camp. They might be semi-permanent. Hard to tell. But yeah, we'll try somewhere else. There is another one, another campsite nearby. That's supposed to be quite nice, and hopefully that will have a spot for me. The other problem right here is, I was talking about intending to do some work. The mobile signal is spotty at best, and the speeds I'm getting are not exactly practical to do the kind of research I wanted to do online. So I mean, I could have tolerated it for the sake of just crashing here for the night, but decision's been made for me, I suppose. Yeah, back into the Shuttlepod, moving on.
base.
Alright, found the other campsite. It's fairly out here in the bush. The single road up here, if you could still call it a road, it's gripping onto the definition of that term by some ragged claws at this point. But it was technically a sealed road most of the way. So yeah, this is a picnic / camping area, although frankly I don't think it'll make a very good camping area. There aren't that many flat spots for an actual camp, but I can park the Shuttlepod back there, that's fine. It's relatively flat. Actually might turn it around so it's slightly sloping to the back of the vehicle. That's where my head is. It's pretty cold up here too. Again, not sure what the elevation is. Ooh, I see a kookaburra. I'll see if I can get a shot in a sec. Yeah, not sure what the elevation is, but the temperature gauge on the car says the outside temperature is 4 degrees Celsius. So, chilly. Might be in for a very cold night. Fortunately, whoever was here recently has left behind a little bit of firewood, a little bit of kindling, so I could light a fire. It's a bit damp around here at the moment, but that's sitting under cover rather smartly in little bags. It should light all right. But yeah, actually, I'm just noticing there are a couple of platforms around, little concrete, maybe not concrete, but slabs for freestanding tents to sit on, I guess. But mobile signal is reasonable. Download rate is fine. Upload might be a bit of a problem. It's quite slow, so I don't know whether this vlog will be up on time or if I have to drive into civilization tomorrow morning to get it uploaded properly. We'll find out. But yeah, there's a few marked trails around here for bushwalkers and whatnot. Not sure how popular this place will be. It is, I'm pretty sure, Friday today, so we might get some weekenders turn up later on in the day. Oh, that wind has a bite to it. Oh, almost reminds me of Tasmania. These platforms are actually some sort of grated material. Not exactly sure what it is. Doesn't feel quite like steel. Some sort of coating on it. But I guess that perforation is for airflow, maybe for tie downs. I don't know. I've never seen a platform like this at a campsite. But again, it's not like I have frequented campsites much since I was a kid, and even then I wouldn't say frequent. Ooh, there we go. This one's got some damage to it. We can see what it's made of. Fiberglass, maybe. Yeah, looks like someone dropped a rock from a fire pit into it, and it's melted its way through. This is some sort of fiber reinforced resin or plastic or something. Definitely not steel. It'd take a little more heat than that to melt through steel. And also you would have all this fiber in the middle of steel. And there's the campfire that I imagine that rock came from. Right next door to it. At some point, the camper has left this table here. This old wooden folding table. Looks like it's had a hell of a life. I wonder how long it's been here. And, oh hello. Time to retreat to the safety of cover because it is starting to rain. Awesome. It's already very muddy. Have to be real careful about tracking that inside. The old Shuttlepod's starting to change colour. We're collecting so much road dust. Okay. Strike 2. It seems that limited mobile signal that I had is entirely dependent on exactly which patch of dirt I'm standing on and which way the wind is blowing and if the clouds have parted and if I'm facing north. What I'm trying to say is the data connection is rather spotty, frustratingly spotty. Sometimes it'll work just fine, then for the next 30 minutes it just won't work ever. So, for the stuff and things I wanted to try and get done today, that's not good enough. I would stay and maybe just pull out my ebook reader and read or something, but it's also really cold. Like, we're about 11 a.m. I think, and it's barely above freezing. Well, the feels like it's barely above freezing, thanks to the wind. So, staying here just for the sake of staying here, not being able to do what I wanted to do, and sleeping through what is probably going to be quite an uncomfortably cold night. I think it might be time to call it and head towards civilization and, I don't know, find another option. Maybe stealth camp in a car park or in suburbia somewhere. That's frustrating. It is quite pretty here. The hell kind of ridiculous excuse for a bird are you? You look like you swallowed a ping pong ball. You're just a sphere with a beak and a tail. Goofy little bastard. What are you? What are you? I am Ballbird. Fear my spherical might. Alright then. Figured it out. The mobile signal, especially for data, is so marginal, it only works if I'm standing outside the shuttle pod or holding the phone up against the windscreen, which gives it just enough access to outside to get the signal. Anywhere else in the van, it acts too much like a Faraday cage. It blocks all the signal. So yeah, I can't work like this. So, I'm off to the nearest civilization and see what's there. I've targeted to one of their local parks. Figure I'll hang out there for the day, or at least a few hours, and figure out what's what. Although, the day is rapidly disappearing on me. A lot of driving already today. Oh well. Quick detour. As I was driving by, I saw a sign advertising some sort of lookout. And I spotted this view a few hundred meters back up the road. I was looking for a place to pull over and try and take a shot. Turns out there's a special place for it, just for tourists. Also, yay! I can take a leak as well. Well, there's something I haven't seen before. A bike repair station. Got a pump, complete with gauge, bunch of common tools you would need in basic bike repair, your Allen keys, your, oh hey, well, I'm not sure that comes off long enough for the purpose of this particular tool, but, oh, yeah, there we go. There we go, we got the star shape arm, we got the basic wrenches and stuff, and someplace to prop your bike up while you're trying to work on it. That's pretty cool. Right, made it to some civilization. Found a community park. There's a sports ground, playground, skate ramp even. Actually, it might be more than a skate ramp. It might be a bowl and everything. Oh, there's the term I was looking for. Skate park. Poor old thing could do with a little bit of a tidy up and some maintenance, but not bad. I used to skate once upon a time. In my youth, I had a very cool Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles skateboard with Raphael. Love that thing. And in typical undiagnosed autistic fashion, I went to the library and got a book on skateboard tricks. An illustrated book on skateboard tricks. And learned all about ollies and stuff. And what goofy foot was, which apparently I am. Even though I'm right-handed. Which is apparently weird, but whatever. So yeah, there's a little undercover area over there near the playground. I might just go have a sit down there for a bit. Don't know whether I can get away with overnighting in this spot, but... In any case, it's already 1 p.m, which is annoying. Because I had a plan today. Get up early, go find the camp spot, settle down, spend a few hours doing some legitimate work, planning content and stuff. Destiny had other ideas. And hello, Sod's Law. All of the driving today has kind of burned me out, and I can't concentrate, focus, and I just want to take a nap. I got nothing left today. God damn it. Maybe I will try and take a nap. But if I do, I might wake too late to figure something out for somewhere to be tonight. Bit nervous about staying here. A little bit sus. I mean, it seems perfectly secure, but I'm just mean, if there's a van left here overnight, I don't know whether someone's going to get nosy about it. Seems like a pretty quiet area, but I don't want to be a problem for people. There was a caravan park I drove past literally a couple hundred meters up the road before I turned into this place. Just looked it up online. They do appear to have powered sites available. No unpowered sites available. Not exactly the cheapest place I've stayed. Not outrageous, but still. If I just really commit to like a day of work tomorrow, maybe I can justify a couple of nights there. I mean, it is effectively the same price as that really noisy place I stayed like 5 or 6 nights ago. I don't know. So the problem is, now that I'm closer to real civilization again, free campsites are getting harder and harder to find and get to. And, you know, the original intent of saying maybe once a week at a paid, campsite, caravan park or something to have access to facilities. I'm doing that maybe twice a week at this point, which is a lot more money than I was intending to spend. So trying to, spend as little as possible to build up a reserve again, so I can maybe get back into a place and have a little buffer for rent and everything. And I don't know, it just feels like I'm scrambling up a slippery slope. I don't know, it feels like I'm scrambling up a muddy bank. Every time I think I can just make a little headway, then just slip back down again and start thinking, oh, how long am I going to have to live like this? Because I never wanted it to be a permanent thing, but I was anticipating, I don't know, anywhere between 1 to 6 months like this, who knows. But, I'm closing on 3 weeks at this point? on it's sad day today. I was wrong earlier when I said it was Friday. It's sad day. Lose track of days. Yeah, on Tuesday it'll be 3 weeks. And I'm already just... I don't know. Maybe it's just because I should look at what, like, a rental apartment or something is in this town. This place seems nice enough. As you might be able to tell, yeah, like I said, I'm petering out. Too much driving today. Like 3 times as much driving as I planned on. And I really would have liked to have spent all that energy doing something productive for the first time in ages. Well, I mean, you know, creatively productive as opposed to just surviving productive. Guess that wasn't to be. Well, I guess we'll find out what I decided to do tonight in the next edit. Alright, for those of you who don't speak worn-out gibberish, I am, I think, going to try and risk camping here tonight, see what happens. And then maybe tomorrow, paid campsite, and do an entire day of actual planning and stuff. Wouldn't that be good? So yeah, here endeth this very weird journey today, I guess. I'm going to wake up hungry tomorrow because I really don't have anything decent to eat. When I say decent, I mean substantial. Oh well. Thank you to all the support, from the thumbs, the likes, comments, sharing, and especially for those of you supporting directly with the PayPal link, the Patreon, Super Chats. Appreciate that very, very much. It's windy as hell out there, man. Gusty. Anyway, I guess tune in tomorrow to see what happened when trying to stay here tonight. Wish me luck.